is a video about my top bar hive I just made, and as you can see it's very different to the conventional type of beehive. So before looking at this thing specifically, we'll just go back through this thing, the ordinary hive, so then you can see how different this is to this. Now, as with most of these box hives, they are just a series of boxes. There's a larger one at the bottom and smaller ones at the top. The larger one is the brood box, which is where the queen is. So that's where the eggs and the larvae and the pupae and the food are, and also the bees will make honey in there. Then on top here is a super, which is just honey. And the way that's done is that above the brood box, which has the frames that you're seeing from the frame thing video, above the brood box is a mesh, and these slots here are big enough to let the worker bees through, but not the queen. So the queen stays in here with the eggs and the pollen and the pupae and all that sort of stuff. The worker bees can get through the queen excluder and get into the super, which has smaller frames, and so you'll only find honey in here. So this is the honey we have, that's the honey they keep, and these things, the supers, can stack up. On top is crown board, and then the roof. This, on the other hand, is very different. Whereas this hive works its way upwards, this works its way laterally. Now, so you can see what goes on the side here. I just need to move the camera, so I'll just stop for a moment. As you can see, the hive itself is just basically a trough. It's V-shaped with a carved bottom, so it's sort of that shape, and it just consists of a number of bars laying across, hence the name top bar hive. Now, there are various sort of issues with these sorts of hives. With a so-called conventional hive, it's not a particularly natural environment, and certainly left to their own devices, bees would not create a colony like we force them to live in. And in the wild, they would make parallel sheets of comb. And I'll pause here briefly to show you some pictures of what it would look like in the wild. Now, one of the apparent advantages of this type of hive is it allows bees to make comb in a way that suits them, which is, and inside here they will recreate the sort of semicircular shapes of comb that they make in the wild. It's what they call a catenary curve, apparently, and which is the shape at length of rope would make if suspended from 2 points, so it's not semicircular, and the centre of gravity is somewhere which makes it better than being semicircular, whatever. So that's one of the advantages of this type of hive. The other big advantage is because it goes this way, you don't have to be lifting heavy, and they are heavy, supers which are full of honey. As the hive gets bigger, the colony extends this way, And what you do is you have these two bars here, which I've painted blue for no particular reason, and they're what are called followers. And the idea is that these act as the dividers for the colony. So as a colony gets bigger, you would move it along and put another bar in, and the bees will build up the comb. These hives are very popular with the natural beekeepers, or eco-hippies as I call them, because it recreates the environment in which bees often build their colonies in the wild. Bees are largely forest creatures, and they will use fallen trees, the centre of which has rotten away, to use as a base for their colony. So in a sense this is almost a tree that's fallen down, and they will work their way through the colony. Again, I'll pause briefly so you can see a couple of photographs of what this looks like in the wild. So, they have certain advantages, but equally they have certain disadvantages. One of which is feeding them can be difficult. Because these bars are closed up, you can't put a feeder on top as you would normally do with a box hive. So what I've done is I have taken a few bars, screwed them together, and in here there is a little piece of wood with some holes in it, and that sits inside the hive. Fill these up with syrup, and this mesh across here is phosphor bronze, which apparently has a very mild electrostatic charge to it, and also the fact the oil is creating a vacuum in there means that the syrup that's in there shouldn't drip out. I say shouldn't. So these things will go in there down, and the bees will come in and help themselves to the syrup through the little wire gauze. And the follower board this side has got something there so the bees can get into it, help themselves to come back out again. So that's a bit fiddly, but sort of okay. One of the disadvantages of these things is honey extraction. Now, on a so-called conventional hive, the honey would build up in these supers, and the supers will be taken out. The bees will have drawn the comb out towards you. Honey will be produced in there. They catch it off to make lots of little individual cells of honey. And so what I would do is just cut the tops of those cells off with a flat-bladed knife, put it into a centrifuge essentially, and spin it out, which isn't the greatest job in the world, but not too bad. With these things here, you can't do that because the comb will be like this, and you can't put it into a centrifuge basically. So all you can really do is just cut the entire frame off, put it into a warming cabinet, which will melt everything, let it cool, the wax will float to the top, and the honey will be there for you to take off, which is a bit of a fag, quite frankly. Another disadvantage of these things is that when you want to inspect the thing, with the box hives, you can lift them up, look at one side, and then do a flip and look at the other side. So you just keep it in your hand, you can flip it like this. Obviously this stops the foundation from falling out. With these things you can't do it. If you lift it up and there's foundation there, let's say, and you want to see what's the other side, you do that, and the chances are it'll snap off. There's no wire in here to support it at all. So again, a bit of a problem. And the final problem with the thing is that if you want to treat the bees for any particular reason, which the eco-hippies tend not to want to do, they'd rather let them die naturally, it's actually quite difficult to treat them. The way conventionally you would do it would be to use something called apicard, which are little pallets of stuff, and you put it on top of the frames there. You can't do it because it's essentially sealed. So what you tend to do is do sort of what they call a sugar shake. You have these little puffers, like you get, like blokes will know from hairdressers, where they puff talc on your neck. You use one of these things, and you take the frames out, you puff them with icing sugar, which is very fine, and that triggers a cleaning thing. They try and clean themselves with this, and the idea is that they will clean themselves and dust the varroa mites off, hopefully. And incidentally, there's a mesh floor to this thing, so that any debris and mites will fall through and keep the hive a little bit cleaner. An advantage of this thing is that this is perhaps bigger than it ought to be, and it is actually quite possible to have two colonies in the same box. Those are the two walls to the colony that's in there. If you want to, you could put another colony in here and have another one of these follower boards, so they all live side by side. I doubt I'll ever do that. So that's the sort of structure of the thing. One other thing that I've done, which I'll just turn the hive around. See, underneath here is I've cut an observation window into the side of the thing. Okay, the bees aren't going to get out. There's perspex here, so you can just lift this, you can just open this thing and check it. Again, the eco-hippies would like this because it means they don't have to interfere with the bees, because basically they don't like bees, but they think they ought to, so the less they have to do, the better. And you can just see, you can get a visual idea of what's going on in there. I will fit a little doorbell there, which I press when I open it, so they're not surprised when it comes down. But that's just a simple way of just checking to see what's going on. One of the things, sorry, I should have shown you on the other side. This is the entrance to the hive. There's three little holes. The bees will come and go. This is what's called a lighting board, so they can land. The younger bees who aren't very good at flying will thank me for this, because they are a bit eccentric sometimes with the way they fly. And so they can get into the colony here, and if they want to, they can get into the syrup. The advantage of this is that they don't have wasps and things trying to get in. So, other than that, it's fairly straightforward. This will go over to Ravenston, over the other side of the field there. And the only thing I've got to do now is I'm going to get some wax and just sort of rub it around the inside of the hive. I'm probably going to use this for a swarm, if I get one. And it just smells nice. If there's a waxy smell in there already, they'll feel more comfortable and more liable to stay. And also, the roof, although very pretty, is quite heavy, and I'm going to try and put some hinges on the back so I can just hinge up. Other than that, I think that's enough about the top bar hive, and if I get a colony in there, and then we'll do an update and see what's going on.